Hey, it's Les from the TV Dudes. This week, I got to chat with Callan McAuliffe. You probably know him from The Walking Dead, where he plays Alden. But he's also been in the films Flipped, I Am Number 4, The Great Gatsby, and more. We chat about the life of a professional actor, what it's like being on set of Walking Dead, and much more. Hope you enjoy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. Man, thanks for taking the time today. I appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome.
So, you are playing Alden on The Walking Dead, which of course is just a juggernaut of a TV show.
So it is. Not wrong.
There's been so much change in that show since Rick first woke up to the zombie apocalypse. Can you talk a bit about Alden and kind of the status of the show as it stands now? Specifically, Alden's role in the world and kind of the social relationships that we're coming into in this new season, where your character kind of fits.
Well, I mean, there are two very important things that have happened with Alden since we last saw him. And you may recall we last saw him for the most part of the season in a cage, which was very, very hot and at times very difficult. This season, fortunately, he's grown a beard, slightly bigger, which is terrible news for everyone but me, because I've always wanted to grow a beard. And he now rides a horse, which says something about the newfound status of his character, I think. Because you might have seen a few pictures of people riding horses.
Yes.
They all are historically very important characters, and I also now ride a horse, and that bodes well for me.
Yeah, it's one of the neat things about any post-apocalyptic show is watching what becomes status and what becomes power, and so yeah, it's horseback has traditionally always been a good step up.
That's very true, and I think everyone was waiting for horses to make a more prominent appearance, given the nature of gasoline and apocalypses in general. So I've been very excited by that particular development this season.
Can you talk a bit about your audition for the show and how you got on board?
Sure. My audition actually was disappointingly simple. I think a lot of people would have gone through some pretty harrowing and difficult audition processes, I'm sure, especially given, as you say, the scale of the show. But for me, perhaps they didn't know whether I was going to be any good or not in the long run, and whether or not the character was going to be appealing to anybody. So my audition was just a one and done. I went in and I read some approximate sides. They didn't have the character name or anything, but they were, I guess, a similar vibe to what I would be doing in the first season. And they called me one day and they were like, I think we're going to cast you, and that was that. I was very pleased, of course. And now I live in Atlanta.
I actually was going to ask if you were in the States or if you were in Australia, and just how inconvenient of a phone call had I scheduled with you.
No, you're quite all right. At the moment I'm in Los Angeles, so they couldn't be any more convenient. I feel like a real actor. I'm doing interviews, and I'm in LA. It's great.
So you're hitting all the marks.
Exactly.
You've worked with just some really top-tier directors, Baz Luhrmann, Spielberg. Can you talk a bit about your experiences on set? Has there been anything professionally that's been particularly surprising to you, as opposed to when you thought, I'm going to be a professional actor, and then getting to the job and going, oh, this is part of it?
Actually, yeah, the most surprising thing for me has been, I think, how accommodating, if that's the right word, everyone has been. Because a lot of these directors, of course, have been doing this on the show for a long time. There's a few people who come in and out who are wonderful, who perhaps do one or two, but for the most part, the people I've been working with have been a part of this family for much longer than me. And that goes, of course, for the cast as well. And I've generally been surprised that everyone has been so welcoming to me, because kind of forcing myself into a hierarchy like that can at times be awkward, I'm sure, for people. But everyone's made it very easy for me, the directors and company especially. And that's been a very pleasant surprise.
Has there been anything that you've done or that y'all do to help join that family? Are there karaoke nights with the cast? Do you guys go out?
I'm pretty sure everyone just goes and eats at Nick and Norman's, and I've done that a few times.
Walking Dead's not like getting a pilot. You know this thing's on the air, and you know it could run if Alden is popular. You know your character could be locked in for a while. Is it odd suddenly shifting from going on auditions and hoping for that role, and then suddenly being on a production show that has a feeling is going to be long running?
Absolutely, man. It's terrifying. I've never done this, so few auditions in a year. But that's the thing, is there's a sense of job security about it as well, which is very comforting. And I think it's something that most actors would love to have, and I'm very lucky to have it. But it has been a strange contrast, because, as you say, like the typical day in the life of a young C-list actor in Los Angeles is just constant auditioning, and it's not been that way for me. And I'm kind of just constantly thinking in the mind of and reading the lines of this one character, which is unique and exciting and terrifying. So, we'll see how it goes.
Has it been fun to get to, like you say, stay in one character's lines, or stay in one character deep in Alden over time?
It has been, yeah. It really has been. I think the most fun part of it is that everyone around you is doing the same thing as well, and the world has been pre-built. Obviously not for me, but I can arrive and everything has been there for near a decade, and there's an immense legacy behind it. And so I guess I want to say easier. Yeah, I'll just say I think it's easier to find the character in there, because you don't have to imagine the world.
Do you happen to remember the first role that you felt like you lost yourself in, or the first time that you were in an acting performance and forgot about the people for a moment and thought, this is wonderful, I want to do this?
That hasn't happened for me yet, I don't think.
What first grabbed you about acting that made you want to commit to grinding through those auditions in the hopes of a role like this?
Let me see. I think I first fell in love with it on the set of Flipped, Rob Reiner's Flipped. That was a very lucky kind of first foray into the American industry. And I certainly don't take it for granted. And so I think that the beauty of that production, the scale, and the legacy behind the people involved. The whole project was very imbued with that classic industry magic that we've all, grown up, at least in part, in awe of. If you cared at all for storytelling and film as a youth, being on a set of that caliber as a first experience is a very wonderful thing. And so I think that's what it did for me. It's Rob Reiner's fault that I'm still here.
I really am. I'm looking forward to seeing where Walking Dead goes in this new season. I think everybody's been a little excited about the rumored shakeup of Rick and seeing where everyone goes. I'm sure you're excited to, like you say, not be in a cage, have a beard. Have there been any particularly just crazy days for you where you've sat back and thought, I can't believe I'm being asked to do this for a paycheck?
Yeah, there was one of those recently, and obviously I can't say much about it. If in fact I'm terrified to say anything at all, because I know I'll slip up. But the day, put it this way, involved my standing in the sun for a very long time, amongst other hot variables. And while I'm from Australia, I've lived in LA. I went from desert to desert for most of my life. But there's something special about George's sun, and I don't mean that politely. But so yeah, there have been a few of those. But if anything, they make you feel like you're actually working, because there are times on set as an actor where you feel like a complete wastrel, especially compared to all of the other people working very hard on the set for far fewer accolades. And so you need the severing every now and again.
I'm sure Walking Dead is consuming your life right now, but outside of this, do you have any dream roles, or was there ever anything you saw as a kid and thought, wow, if they remake that, I want to be Superman, or I want to be, did you ever have one of those?
Let me think. Lord of the Rings, narratively, has pretty much been the thing that controlled my imagination.
I was going to ask,
as a child, and my growth as an adult. Lord of the Rings is my jam, and all associated books and media films. So yeah, if they remake that at any point in time, I would probably play whichever character was age appropriate for me to play when they remade it. The Amazon series that I'm hearing all this stuff about, it's going to be a very pivotal moment in my mental health. I think if I'm not cast in that, it could be ruinous to my character daily. But if I am, only good things. So there's a pitch to the Amazon folks. Please put me in your show.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Your Instagram is MC Bombadil, and then I was thinking, yeah, there's got to be a Lord of the Rings love there.
Oh yeah, absolutely, totally. I mean, that's the thing, though, is I'm already on a wonderful TV show, of course, but I do have to make it clear, Lord of the Rings has been one of my first loves, and will stay that way throughout my life. So if it comes down to The Walking Dead and Amazon, I'm gonna have to make it a fight.
Well, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk to me in prep of the new season. Really looking forward to seeing what you get to do.
Hey man, thanks very much. I appreciate it.
All right, have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast and a member of the Electric Sweater Podcast Network. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/TVDudes. You can like us on Facebook and Twitter @TV Dudes. All the music for our show is by our friend and original TV Dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith. To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com and electricsweater.com. I'm Grant Davis. Thanks for listening.